Hey guys, just a quick video on a project I've been working on the last couple months. This is a little 125cc Chinese ATV that I got actually for free from a family member a couple months ago, and it was really beat up. Engine wasn't running, half the plastics were missing. It looked like it'd been sitting outside for quite a while. The tires were bald. So I've been tearing it down and was gonna bring it back to its original look, but the plastics for this thing are like over 200 bucks. And then with the new tires, it just would have, I don't know, I didn't like the way it looked anyways when it was stock. So I ended up tearing it down, changed out the tires and wheels. I got these super wide rear tires that are actually off a mower. They're like 11.5 inches wide on 8-inch wheels. The original stock wheels were 7-inch. Turf tires, same thing on the front. Turf tires, skinnier 8-inch wheels, just to give it kind of that, I don't know, fat chopper-like look in the back end. The seat is from a little Razor e-bike. It was the only one I could find that actually kind of fit the frame. Tank is off a larger ATV. It did have a tank similar to this. It was just much smaller and a different shape. It didn't really go with what I was looking for. I ended up making all these diamond plate panels. This was originally like a bright tread diamond plate. I just cut it all, made floorboards, my own floorboards, side panels, this little divider piece in the front, filler piece between the tank and the seat, and this front piece up here, kind of just cover the gaps in the frame, and had them powder coated black. The frame is like an army olive green, kind of like a camouflage paint. I ended up tearing it completely down and repainting all the parts individually. The front bumper is actually for a TRX 450 ATV that I just kind of modified to make work. The headlights are just eBay specials with these amber lenses. Made my own little custom bracket for that. And then the 12-inch ape hangers. And this has this funky little automatic transmission. It's just a forward neutral reverse transmission. So I threw this cool little skull shift knob on there. I thought it was kind of neat. And other than that, I did remove the front brakes. This comes with these drum, cable actuated dual drum brakes, and both cables come up to the top up here and are activated by a handle, and they're super hard to squeeze, and they really didn't do much anyways, so I just deleted them. It looks much cleaner without it, and so I'm just relying on the rear foot brake, which is actually really good because it's a hydraulic disc and it works really well, especially with these big meats on the back. It stops just fine. And this is just a toy. It's not, I ended up actually, one of the big things I did was I lowered it 4 inches. And I did that by taking these brackets here, which were mounted down here, cutting them and re-welding them up about 3 to 4 inches higher. And in the rear, I just ended up replacing the rear shock, the monoshock, with a shorter unit that came, I think it was for a 110cc ATV. It was about 1.5 inches shorter, which gave me 3 to 4 inches of lowering in the rear. So anyways, yeah, that's it. Just a fun little project. I think it looks like a bug on the front end. So I found these little Superfly decals and stuck them on the tank. Also I made this little dash, which came out pretty good. Just bent some aluminum diamond plate, drilled the holes so I'd have a spot for the key, the neutral switch, and the reverse. And it's got this little secret button here. It's got a neat little car horn that I got from Harbor Freight. So anyways, that's it. It's a fun little toy, just for bombing around the neighborhood. Thanks for watching, guys. Here's some extra footage of some pictures that I took of the process on the way, in case you guys are interested. Some of the welding I did for the front shock mounts, the rear seat, where I had to cut a bunch of brackets off. I had to cut a lot of brackets off and re-weld my own for the seat and the tank. And I had to buy a random exhaust too. This thing had no exhaust, no pipe at all. Shot from the rear shows how wide those tires are. Love these tires, these are neat. They really make this thing look awesome. The apes, I just bought the apes, so I threw them on there. Wasn't too sure about these at first, but they're so comfortable, especially for a bigger rider. This, you gotta remember, this is a kid's quad, so I'm 6 foot tall, so it's too small for me, but you know, it works, especially with the apes, that make it easier. And the tank and the seat, rear tires, still hadn't had the front tires yet. Some of the diamond plate I was bending and cutting and mounting. Mounted everything with 1/8 inch pop rivets, you know, just drilled through the diamond plate and into the frame. A little filler piece between the seat and the tank. Side panels, I had rear and front side panels, and then this front panel that I made cover the gaps in the frame. Exhaust I had mounted. And this front bumper was actually from a TRX 400, not a 450. I just had to mod it a little bit. Then tearing everything down. This is probably the hardest part, tearing everything down and painting all these pieces. There's a ton of little pieces. You know, most of them, like the frame and suspension parts, green, and some of these miscellaneous pieces, and some of the steering pieces, black. But a lot of little pieces, and I pretty much destroyed my garage with overspray. It was kind of everywhere. Had a lot of cleanup to do. It took me half a day to clean the whole garage out. But the frame came out pretty good. I was pretty happy with it. You know, rattle can isn't the ideal way, but it scratches super easy, but it is cheap. And the paint, you know, I just got from Ace Hardware, my local hardware store. It's like a camouflage green color, like a flat olive green. Thought it would tie in good with the satin black of the panels. Just pulled the motor, cleaned it up. Here's my dash piece that I made. Ended up just hot gluing these connections on the back. And almost done. Had a few final pictures. Those front wheels, I ended up having to rattle can those. Was able to find a paint that matched. Just trying to save money on powder coating. But they came out pretty good. Also ended up rattle canning these front springs. They were the only things that were white left over that kind of stood out, so I ended up pulling them apart and painting those as well. Shot of the wheels getting painted. And these lug nuts are actually fake also. There's a castle nut that holds that center piece of wheel on, and those holes were just blank, so I just put a nut behind those and put them on just to complete the look. And there she is, all done. Alright guys, thanks for watching. See you next time.